Harrison Barnes. You're listening to 3-Point Conversion.
Thank you for joining. Please raise your hands with questions for Coach. Jackie Powell.
Hey, Coach, thanks for being here. I just wanted to get a bit of a pulse check on Sabrina and how you thought she was moving tonight and able to share the ball in her 17 minutes.
Actually played 27, but she did a lot of really good things. She did things that we talked about prior to the film, her working on, and she had a few lapses where she went back to some of the things we've been working on, kind of getting away from. But in all, I thought, she was a lot of positive contributions on the offensive end. And I think she had some really stellar defensive possessions. She had some defensive possessions where they attacked and were able to get what they wanted. So that's all stuff that it's going to be a work in progress with her movement and everything. But in all, yeah, I thought she did a good job tonight.
And I'm curious as to why you thought the Sky were able to execute on so many defensive mismatches.
I just don't think we were late. We were a step slow and capitalized. I thought when we started the game, both teams looked that way, and then we just stayed that way. And so credit to them. I think both teams were really tired, and they dug deep. And we had spurts where we played really hard and tried to dig deep. It just wasn't quite enough.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Erica Ayala.
Thanks, Coach. I wanted to follow up actually on Jackie's first question. I noticed that you took Sabrina to the side as the third quarter was beginning. Can you maybe just break down a little bit of what you were talking about and what you were hoping she would see as she entered the game in the third?
Just her getting us in more of our sets. She doesn't have an opportunity to get out in transition. Start creating a habit of calling more sets. She's had a tendency throughout the year to just kind of attack downhill and get a dribble handoff on the weak side of the court. So we just talked about really focusing on getting out on the court, where the mismatches are, what you want to run, exploit those mismatches, ways to call your own number, things like that. So that's something she's usually played off the ball for most of her life. And so playing with the ball in her hands, I wouldn't say it's a brand new skill set, but at this level, certainly it's something she has to continue to work on so that she can play multiple positions. And I thought she did a better job of that tonight. There's obviously a lot of room, but she took some steps tonight, and I was really happy to see that.
And just thinking ahead to Thursday, you'll see this team again, obviously. What are some of the things that you feel that your team will be able to capitalize on that maybe didn't necessarily go your way? I know you said that both teams were a little tired. So what are you hoping to rectify for Thursday?
I just think the rest up, honestly. Just, we couldn't make a shot to start the game. Every miss was short. I told you guys the pregame, I told you guys how tired they were. I mean, it's not a lack of will. They really wanted to give everything they could, and I think in most cases they really did. I just think there wasn't much left in the tank after that LA game in particular, but that was a long road trip. It was a long flight home, and I just don't think they really recovered enough to beat a team this good. It's just not. You got to be. If you're at 100%, it's hard to beat Chicago. So. But again, that's not to take anything away from Chicago and what they did, because they were tired. They got in really, really late. There was some kind of travel issue from what I understand. And they were able to execute the heck out of what they want to do on both ends. So it's a credit to them.
Evan Hill.
Hey, Coach. Always a pleasure talking with you. You mentioned pregame that we would see Kia Stokes off the bench tonight, and I'm looking now. She got 15 minutes, made a few plays on the defensive end. What did you see from her that was encouraging at all?
She looked a little out of rhythm, understandably. particularly on the offensive end. I did like her talk defensively. She really kind of found her way as the game went on. But yeah, offensively, she was just kind of rushing, not using her fakes, and got blocked a couple times. And that's just a matter of getting her reps, and getting used to how we play again. So in all, though, I think her setting screens and not slipping out of them was one of the things that we're working on. And then when she rolls, catching and finishing, catching on balance. There's some things that she needs those reps. She needs them in practice, and she gets good at them again.
Thank you.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Coach, thank you for joining us. What can you say about the way Nate Odom responded to an expanded opportunity tonight after not seeing the floor on Sunday?
And they did a lot of good things. I think she and Sabrina connected for most of her buckets, not all of them. Two of them have a nice chemistry. And, I thought Nate, she's trying to play her way back kind of into form and shape, and doing the things that she knows she's capable of. I thought she did a lot of those things well without the ball, and had some nice defensive possessions. It's just a matter of her kind of finding her rhythm and her confidence again.
You turned the ball over 16 times tonight. It's down from Sunday's number, but it's not exactly where you wanted, I presume. So what do you think of the way the team took care of the ball tonight?
Yeah, it wasn't great. It's really interesting. Like the 30 turnover game didn't feel much different than the 16 turnover game. From where I was sitting, because there was a lot of misexecution on our end, on the offensive end, particularly ATOs. We didn't run. I don't think we ran ATO correctly the entire night, and we had trouble with that against LA as well. I didn't think we executed plays very well. I thought we were out of sorts, and even early on, we were doing a good job running, and creating open shots. We just couldn't get down, and I think that took it out of our sails a bit. So it's one of those things. You just gotta rinse it off and get some rest and understand that, take care of business, and then control controllables, and probably gonna be all right in the next game.
For sure. Appreciate your time and insight. Thank you.
Thanks.
Cortland Griffin.
Hello, Coach. Cortland Griffin with three-point conversion. The defense to begin the game was very intense. You guys looked good on that end. Is that a positive that you guys can take going into Thursday's game?
Yeah, they're very capable group defensively. I think that one of the things we've seen this year, didn't see a lot last year, is there's more ad-libbing that's happening, and that can be good when it's done correctly. People on the court know that it's going to be done, but we've been talking about players going rogue and kind of abandoning our principles, and not that that's wrong in and of itself. The reason that it's compromising to our defense is that the rest of the people on the court expect you to do a pick and roll coverage or guard an off-ball screen a certain way, and so they're built to handle an action the way that you're supposed to guard it. And when they go rogue and teams are able to recognize it, it really puts us in a tough position. So, I think we have to be more disciplined on that end more consistently. And I think it's not a matter of not having capable defenders. It's not a matter of us not being able to force the types of shots we want to force. It's a matter of us consistently being disciplined and executing our principles.
And a follow-up question, you threw a lot of interesting lineups out there, a lot of different lineups out there tonight. Was that by design?
Nope. It was tired legs and just trying to figure out something that could work, and trying to have a little bit of a quicker hook for some of the starters that played really heavy minutes last game. And kind of the end result of that was that we had some lineups that we haven't seen. Another thing is that with Sabrina coming off the bench, you're going to see lineup combinations that you really haven't seen before, because a lot of times she'll come out when that second unit comes in. Now she's getting to play with that second unit. I think the great takeaways from that is getting to see her play extended minutes today.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Ben Rosoff.
Hey, Coach. I know you talked about this pregame, but the Chicago team is a lot different than the one you faced last month. Can you talk about how difficult it is to guard this team that seems to come at you in waves, whether it's Dolson and CP as a starting front court, and then a weapon like Quigley coming off the bench?
Yeah, I mean, it's they're a good team, and like we talked about early on in the season, I think they came into the season title favorite. They've got everybody back healthy now in their role, and I think that's 6 in a row for them. They can do it in a lot of ways, and as I said pregame, Candace can hurt you in a lot of ways, and she hurt us in pretty much all those ways. The assists and the rebounds and the scoring. She scored the post. She made some shots, 3 or 4 from 3. You're really going to have trouble if Candace gets open looks and knocks them down. You're going to have trouble with that game because there's just too many other things that she can do. So I don't think it's a case of being unguardable or unbeatable by any means. Stick to our principles, but I do think we present challenges, the different combinations of players and the offensive firepower.
Great, thank you, Coach. Next up, we have Sammy Whitcomb. All right, first up, Jeff Magliochetti.
Sammy, thank you for joining us. How inspiring was it to see Sabrina Ionescu come off the bench tonight and somewhat start to resemble her old self again?
Yeah, that was great. We actually just spoke and I said to her that I felt like that was the most her I'd seen her playing on. That was really good to see. I'm happy for her to slowly work back into herself. We need that up. So that's a positive for sure, a silver lining. Yeah, it was good.
What did you think of the way your team took care of the ball tonight? Obviously, it was a cut down from Sunday's performance on the turnovers, but obviously 16 turnovers is probably not what you want to have. So what do you think of the way your team took care of the ball tonight?
Yeah, it's definitely not the number that we're aiming for. But yeah, it is an improvement, obviously. It's something we're continuing to work on. I think, the way that we play sometimes can lead to turnovers in that way. But when we can handle the pressure, I think that's kind of the key for us. So obviously, it's something we'll continue to work on. I think when we're a little bit maybe more fatigued, it's something that we have to focus on even more because obviously when you're tired, maybe you're less focused, you're not as locked in. So that's an important thing for us, I think, moving forward. So yeah, something we'll continue to work on. Good that it was less, but still not probably where we want it to be.
Appreciate your time and insight. Thank you, Sammy.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Sammy, thanks for taking the time. I wanted to ask you a bit about Juneteenth, because tonight was the Juneteenth celebration. So I want to know how in the past couple of years that, you've learned about this celebration and sort of understand like what it means, for a lot of your teammates and a lot of people in this league.
Yeah, I think being in the league, particularly probably the bubble season, that was probably my greatest exposure to it and learning about it. Obviously, it's something that be special to the league, special to all the players individually, but something that I'm really proud to celebrate and be a part of. And yeah, it's something that I think everyone is continuing, like we're sharing it on social media, we're talking about it within the league, and it's something that we'll continue to do because it's incredibly significant.
And I'm curious as to how you thought the Sky were able to execute on so many defensive mismatches.
Yeah, I mean, they're a pretty versatile team in terms of some of their players, Fields, Parker. They have a lot of offensive weapons, and I think they did a better job of using theirs. We obviously have some as well. We have a lot too, and I don't think we capitalized quite as well as we wanted to, and I think part of that was as locked in mentally. I think part of that is for us, it's something we're young. When like that is for everybody a long grind out kind of season, and we're in kind of a patch of that right now coming off the 4-game road trip. So it's a learning experience for us. I think we need to go back, we need to rest, we need to look at the areas that they beat us and look at the areas where we could have and didn't, or we just execute, and come back and do those things better, because when we do, we'll be in a position to win the game. We can do those things tonight.
And the final one for me, without watching any film, what's something that you know you all need to work on?
And from this game in particular, or in general?
In general, like right after coming off the court, just something you knew like that you need to adjust for Thursday.
I mean, I don't think we communicated well enough. There were lots of times people were getting hit on screen and we weren't talking about it. We weren't kind of fast we need to be when people are coming off the screen in terms of how it's done. I think a lot of those things really make a difference for us and set us up to get stopped and get a few offensive rebounds that we should as well. We weren't getting rebounding. So there's a number of things that we typically do that we didn't do. So it's not a one thing. Like there's not one thing that we can adjust. It wins us the game. It's a number of things and it's small detail things, but when we do them with the games, then it's just a case of making sure that we're focused and locked in and moving back.
Thanks so much, Sammy. I appreciate it.
Cortland Griffin.
Hello, Sammy. Cortland Griffin with the 3-point conversion. Sammy, tonight you had 10 points and you were really aggressive coming into the second half. What was your mindset coming out of the first half break?
Yeah, well, I mean, the first half was crap, wasn't it? So it was more just trying to generate some offense, be a bit more aggressive, try and just create better looks for us. We weren't getting, we were turning the ball over. We weren't getting good looks. We weren't getting good shots. So I think being in that starting group to set the tone with that. More than anything, it was just trying to get back into that game and knock down some shots to get to the rim, put pressure on them defensively. I don't think we did a good enough job of that. So I was trying more of that because I wasn't doing that in the first half, and I think that's problematic on the counter.
And you also attack the basket a lot more than you usually do. Was that just a part of trying to get back into the game as well?
Yeah, I think so. It's something that I spoke about with Walt as well before the game. Just in general, my shot as a bit more of a, or my shot fake even as a threat, and trying to get to the rim that way to create easier looks if perhaps my shot isn't falling, and it wasn't. So I was just trying to get some easier looks, get to the basket, and usually when that happens, it sort of gives you a bit of confidence in shooting, and I think it did, and I also ended up knocking the shot after that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miles Ehrlich.
Hi, Sammy. Thanks for talking to us tonight. You guys started off over your first 13 from 3. Was that an element, do you think, of tired legs of the cross-country trip back, or were they looks that you didn't like, or was it just a combination of both tonight and just sometimes the shots don't fall?
I mean, it could have been a bit of both, but I mean, if you look at us statistically, I think we're the best three-point shooting team. We have a lot of individually great three-point shooters. So it's hard for me to believe that we just missed shots that were good shots. Like we take good shots typically as well. So 0 of 13 seems like an anomaly to me. I think part of that surely is the legs being tired. And I think, like I said, it's something we have to be mindful of though. So we need to keep shooting those. We need to get our legs under us and all those things. But again, it is something where if they aren't, maybe we need to shot fake and get to the rim a little bit more, or maybe just not settle quite as much for the early ones. But that's our thing, and the numbers are we always say the numbers are gonna adjust. So if we're missing shots early, we're gonna make shots later. We are good shooters, we're a good shooting team. So I'm less worried about that. I think defensively where we let ourselves down today.
Thank you. And yeah, defensively, when you came out of half, Chicago really went on to a run again and they hit their first 5 or 6 shots. But after that, you kind of settled in and the offense looked a little bit better in the second half. How impressed were you with that effort and that resiliency that we've seen all season of just this never quit, never say die energy that this team has, really down to the last person at the end of the bench?
Yeah, I mean, it's my favorite aspect of this team, I think. I really love that about us. And it's one of those things that, you appreciate it, you respect it, but you also don't want to be, put in those positions. We don't want to be in those positions. We don't want to constantly have to be doing that, fighting till the end, not quitting in a 15-point loss. Like I would love for us to, and it's a growing thing, it's a learning thing. We're still getting there. I thought we did it in LA. We done it in, we did it in Phoenix, but we need to be able to come out and in that third quarter and not put ourselves in down by 20. Now it's always, keep working, don't quit. I respect the hell out of our fight today, but hopefully we'll get to a stage of continue to learn and grow this where we're the ones doing that and teams facing us.
Thank you so much.
Last question, Dana Lee.
Hi, Sammy. This is your first season playing with Benijah. What has stood out to you about the type of player, the type of person she is?
It's actually not my first season playing with Benijah. I've played with her in Australia, but it's my first time playing with her as an all-star in the WNBA. So I really enjoyed seeing that growth and playing with her. But Benijah's the same person she was when I played with her before. She's super, super hardworking, phenomenal teammate, she's a great leader. She wants to win. She's super competitive. She's everything you want in a teammate. And I love it. I think we're so lucky to have her. She leads obviously in the way she plays, she does, but she's super vocal and she's really great with just teaching all of us and using that experience and all of that. So she's a really special player and I love playing with her.
Great, thank you, Sammy. Next up, we have Benijah Laney. Please raise your hands with questions for Benijah. Jeff Magliochetti.
Benijah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. So, you were down to 16 turnovers tonight after the performance on Sunday. So it's obviously not what you want, even if it is a reduction from Sunday by nearly half. So what do you think about the way you and your team took care of the ball tonight?
Sunday was rough, in terms of the turnovers and everything. And I think that was something that we spoke about, definitely cutting down and just, right now we're just trying to take it one step at a time. Like obviously we have to grow and we have to get better and we can't continue to have, that many turnovers, especially against, these kind of teams. But, progress is progress. So we're going to, just keep pushing and keep trying to get better.
What other areas do you think you as a team made tonight, if any?
I think, although like we were tired and everything, we were able to kind of, push through as much as we could. I don't think that we gave up. Obviously, the result wasn't what we wanted, but I can appreciate the fight, from everybody. I still think that we need to talk more and just, focus a little bit more to the details and everything. But other than that, I think we played hard. Made adjustments on, the things that we talked about in terms of turnover, trying to execute and everything. So, as long as we continue to do that and keep pushing and getting better, we'll be fine.
Appreciate your time and insight. Thank you.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Benijah, thanks for being here with us tonight. I just wanted to get a pulse check on Sabrina Ionescu and how you thought she was moving and able to impact the game in her 27 minutes.
I think she was really good. She had, 6 and 7 or something. So I think, her coming back and just getting comfortable and, filling out her ankle and everything. And as she continues to get healthy and playing and everything, she's gonna get back to where she was. And I think that we saw that tonight, just, what she was capable of doing out there.
Right. And so May Odom was out of the rotation on Sunday. What did you make of what she was able to do, back in the rotation today and just in general transitioning from her injury?
She was really good today. She came out, she was aggressive, she was, hunting her shot and everything. She had some really good cuts and baskets. So, as we continue to grow and later down the stretch, I think that, everybody is coming along really well for us. And, as they continue to get comfortable, we'll be in a good spot.
The Final one from me. Why do you think the Sky were able to execute on so many defensive mismatches?
I mean, they're a good team. You know, they have smart players. They have great players. They've been playing together, you know, for a while, so they have that chemistry and everything. And a lot of experience.
Thanks so much.
Cortland Griffin.
Hello, Benijah. This is Cortland Griffin with 3-point conversion. Early in the game, you really looked to push the pace, and you seemed to be really aggressive coming out. What was your mindset coming in tonight's game?
Just to, you know, try and punch them first. You know, just to stay aggressive. Run, you know, because they like to run, and so just trying to, you know, the same thing against them.
Thank you for your time.
Miles Ehrlich.
Hi, Benijah. There was a play in the third quarter after a timeout where there was a play run for you where there was a double screen at the top of the key, and then you drove and you found a cutter. And it seems like it's a consistent thing, and it was an easy bucket on a night where a lot of the shots were tougher to find. It seems like it's a consistent thing this season where coming out of a timeout, you guys have drawn up a play and executed very well. Could you talk a little bit about the coaching staff and just how they are at reading the game situations and in drawing up those plays coming out of the breaks?
Yeah, I think the plays and everything that they draw for us, you know, they're really great. They work well for us. You know, trying to exploit different mismatches, seeing who's guarding who, you know, what kind of shot we can get. So, you know, we came out and were able to execute.
Thanks so much.
Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Benijah. We will send the recording and post game notes shortly.